Welcome back to Unsure on Air. This is our second episode so far. My name is Nate Sparks. I'm your host, and I'm joined with Elijah Katzian here, creator and founder of Unsure Music. We are going to do something a little bit different this week than we did 2 weeks ago, and that's going to be I'm just going to share some songs to Elijah. We're going to have Elijah react to these songs, and I'll kind of feed off whatever he's saying and let you know what my opinions on them are. And so we're just going to take a look at some songs. So we're going to start doing these podcasts every 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks we will get these out to you, and they should be out by Monday. And it's for your week. It'll get you warmed up through the week, because Mondays are Mondays, aren't they? So, Elijah told me to say bi-weekly is what we're going to start doing the podcasts.
That does not mean twice a week.
But yeah,
I think it can mean occasionally.
That's confusing, because it does mean that if you get paid bi-weekly, it usually means every 2 weeks, but it could also mean twice a week. I don't know,
But we mean every 2 weeks.
Yeah, so every 2 weeks, on Monday, you're going to get a nice new podcast from us, and it's going to be about music. So let's dive right into this. I was looking at the top 100 charts, and there was a song I heard in the gym a few weeks ago that I wanted to have Elijah listen to. We haven't listened to it yet. I've listened to it, of course. He has not, I don't think. But I'm just going to have him take a listen to that, and it is by Miley Cyrus, and it's called Midnight Sky.
Oh, great.
By Miley Cyrus. So we're going to take a listen to Midnight Sky by Miley Cyrus real quick, and Elijah's going to give his hot take on what he thinks about the song when we're done. So we'll be right back. Alright, so we just listened to Midnight Sky by Miley Cyrus, and we're going to let Elijah take it away and give his hot take right after listening to the song. So tell us what you think.
I gotta give it some credit. I actually am impressed to hear a song by Miley Cyrus that's actually interesting. The lyrics are something else. They're different than normal. Like, they're not just about sex or whatever. But I don't agree with the message of the lyrics very much. But I am glad to hear that it's something different, and clearly there's a difference in just the way the song sounds. It sounds more real, like she herself wrote it, you know? It sounds like she put her feelings into it, and so it may not be, like, I may not agree with it, but it's definitely something that she clearly has a strong feeling about, because she was able to make a full song about it. So I like that aspect of it, and the fact that it feels like a real song that you don't hear very often. Like, it's different from what her usual stuff is.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think it's pretty simple, the singing in it. I didn't hear a whole lot of auto-tune, did you? I mean,
no.
It seems very just straight, raw, her voice, if you ever, like, I remember growing up, I don't know if necessarily you watched this show, but Hannah Montana was on TV, and that was a show that I sort of watched as a kid. I wouldn't say I was an avid watcher of it. There's a lot of people that know way more about the show than I do. I can barely remember anything of it, but
he's a super fan.
I loved Hannah Montana, come on. No, I really don't remember a whole lot from it. But I do sort of remember her voice. Her voice seems a little bit lower in this than maybe her regular talking voice is. But it's not terribly different.
What I thought was funny was she kept, like, just getting, like, this sharp sound of just, like there's glass in her throat, you know?
Yeah.
Like, like she, and it didn't sound bad, you know? It's just like,
Well, it's
she's
just a
really
different
aggressive.
style.
Yeah, she's singing really aggressively. Another artist I can think of that does that, or that this song kind of reminds me of is what's Total Eclipse of the Heart? Who's that by?
Oh, Pink Floyd?
No, that's not by Pink Floyd.
What?
Total Eclipse of the Heart?
What is that from? What am I thinking of?
Okay, now I gotta look it up. I'm dumb.
What's Pink
it's by
Floyd?
Bonnie Tyler.
I don't know enough about stuff.
Yeah,
to tell you things.
You're trash. Okay. Total Eclipse of the Heart. Bonnie Tyler has a very...
Oh, Pink Floyd had The Dark Side of the Moon. That's what I was getting confused with what you were talking about.
That's what the word I was looking for is gravelly. Bonnie Tyler will do this thing where it's like, like she's kind of yelling and it just has like a really gravelly sound, and she's definitely singing out of her throat. And there's parts of the times where parts of the song where Miley Cyrus does that, and she definitely just like sings out of her throat, and it sounds really raspy or gravelly. And I don't think it's bad. I think it sounds kind of interesting, but it's funny. I think it's sort of a progression in her career because she's probably reached a point where her voice is starting to kind of go, and so she sounds more.
You know what this
gravelly.
reminds me of is actually Batman. From the Dark Knight movies, how Christian Bale does his voice. She kind of does the same thing for this song, I think.
Yeah.
Where she kind of just gets, I don't know, stuff caught in her throat or whatever. I think it's kind of interesting from a pop standpoint because we're going from, of course, you have Ariana Grande, however you want to say it, to Miley Cyrus. They're very different voices because she's got this kind of low voice, and then Ariana's got this very high-pitched, squealy voice. So it's kind of different. I think it's kind of different. I will tell you, I enjoy this song.
Yeah,
I don't think this is a bad
I
song.
didn't think it was bad. That's what I'm saying is I think it's very different because you can tell she herself wrote it. Mm-hmm. Even if she didn't write all the words, it definitely has a feeling of being written by her, and like that's something opposed to Ariana Grande. Mm-hmm. She, like you can kind of tell she probably doesn't write a lot of her lyrics, I would guess, and if she does, I don't know, a lot of it, I think a lot of her career is kind of handed to her, especially because she grew up in Disney Channel or whatever. So
and her dad was a famous singer, you know.
Oh, I don't know who that is. Who is her dad?
You talking about Miley Cyrus, right?
No, Ariana Grande.
Oh! I didn't follow you there.
I guess the same thing happened with Miley Cyrus, but I think it's different because she kind of got famous.
Well, they were both
more for music. It seemed like.
Yeah, because her show was
Did she get famous before the show?
When did that? I don't think so.
When did the?
But Billy Ray was famous.
That's true.
Before, so they both kind of had a similar thing where they were on kids shows. They sang in kids shows. I mean, Hannah Montana, of course, was a superstar on that show. That's what that show was about. Ariana did some singing in Victorious, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. But they're sort of similar persons there with that. So
I'm just saying, I think Ariana Grande's career is more handed to her, I feel like, than Miley Cyrus is. Like, it seems like she works for hers more, or at least it seems to me like she writes a lot more of her music. Like, she actually puts work into it, whereas Ariana just shows up and sings, is what I feel like.
And I'll kind of tell you what I think about that too. Is Ariana is very heavy on the features. Miley doesn't have a lot of features. I mean, she doesn't have a whole lot of popular songs because of that. But pretty much all of Ariana Grande's songs have a feature in them at some point. And a lot of her original songs that were really famous had features, or she was featured in them. So, I mean, Miley, I think, has had to pull a lot of her crowd in just by herself.
Yeah.
Whereas Ariana's kind of got...
Rides the coattails of other artists.
Yeah. And I think they're both very talented, but it's just something to think about with...
As far as the strategy of getting famous goes, I think Ariana's strategy is pretty good because, I mean, she just gets famous without doing a whole ton of work. But I think, to me, it seems like Miley's more of a genuine person. I don't like Miley Cyrus in any way, but I think, you know, maybe she actually did kind of work for it.
Yeah.
Especially based on this song, it sort of seems like she actually is trying.
Yeah, and so I think it's an interesting song, but it's just one that I heard and I wanted to share with you and see what you thought.
Didn't know she was married to Liam Hemsworth.
Oh yeah, we did find out she was married to Liam Hemsworth.
Essentially what the song is about, if you were wondering, is that basically she doesn't like the fact that Liam Hemsworth, according to Genius Lyrics, has had more of a traditional view of marriage. And I guess she's not a fan of that. And so this is her song saying like...
And by traditional, you mean like he wants to have kids and kind of settle down as an actual family, whereas she wanted to not do that, and they were just almost like just continuing to be in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship.
And apparently Liam is also rumored to be someone restrictive and reserved, according to Genius.
Which I think she leaked a lot of that stuff. I don't know. There's a whole lot of drama.
I mean, yeah, it's a lot of it's just famous people having drama. That, you know.
But I do. My last input I want to say is that this is top 44. It's 44th on the top charts. So it is a popular song right now. I mean, of course, not as popular as something Ariana puts out or anything like that, but
I think this is better though.
I agree.
I definitely think her musical ability is better. It seems less I don't know. I like the way that she uses the electronic instruments in her music more as a style, not as just a thing.
Well, it's very 80s again.
Yeah, that's true. And like Ariana, in terms of comparison, Ariana Grande uses a lot of like just electronic drums, and it's not like she's using it as a specific style. Like she's not trying to be artistic with it or like a musician with it. She's just kind of using it, and I think this is a better example of using it as a musician and as an artist rather than just using it as a way to make drums. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to move on from that song. We're going to move on to kind of an interesting one. I found this like a few minutes before we started filming for this podcast. It's called Holiday by Lil Nas X. So we're going to take a listen to that here in a second. Holiday by Lil Nas X. And we're going to tell you what our thoughts are on this. And we're going to watch the music video. So I would recommend you watch the music video as well because I want to talk about this music video with you as well. So we'll be right back. Alright, we just listened to Holiday by Lil Nas X. And we watched the music video. That was a treat. So I want to start off by reading the first comment on the YouTube video for this, and it is actually by Lil Nas X. He commented on his own video.
Oh, classic.
Who here from Roblox? ?
Who here from...
So...
Wait, I want to see that. I gotta look at this.
So this comment has 94,000 likes. 496 replies, which means possibly 500 people replied that they are here from Roblox. So Elijah reached out to me a few weeks ago and said, did you know Lil Nas X was having a concert on Roblox? And
oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
I think I said, who is Lil Nas X? Because I forgot what songs this guy made. This guy made like 2 or 3 songs. He had Old Town Road.
Just Old Town Road. You can't forget about Old Town Road. What are you talking about?
Okay, he was pretty famous for a while, but he kind of fell off and just had like no songs for like a year. He had no songs that I can think of. I mean, I'm sure he was making songs, but none of them got popular. And then we have this one that gets popular out of nowhere and somehow gets recommended to me on YouTube. And I just had to take a listen. And so, Elijah, tell us what you think about the music first.
Oh, words can't describe. Words can't describe my feelings about this song. I mean, it's something. I think he is able to make something. That's his ability. He made something. I think he does a very good job at pandering to what everyone likes.
Mm-hmm.
Old Town Roads was an amazing pander song because it got both the country people and the rap people to join hands and start rapping.
Well, and you remember why that was made was because of Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, that was why?
The original music video for Old Town Roads was made on Red Dead Redemption 2.
Really?
So that's where the song came from.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That's funny. But yeah, it was a perfect song for pandering both to people who play Red Dead and people who like rap music and country music. It was like, hey, we get both these groups of listeners. This song, another great pander song, because it's now a new Christmas song. You know, don't see that very often. And it's just like, this is definitely going to play on the radio because it's Christmas, and it's one of the only new Christmas songs to be released, especially this year.
I do want to interrupt you real quick with you saying it's going to be on the radio, and I want to point out that this song does have swear words in it, which is kind of different from
that's true.
Old Town Roads. So I don't know what he's going for here. That's not really a whole... I mean, I guess they edit it for the radio, but if you're creating stuff for the radio, usually you make it clean. So I personally think that this was just a terribly quick written song that he was like, I gotta show this off at my Roblox concert. And so he did, and that's how it gained popularity. But I want to talk about the music video for just a second.
Okay. It's something. That, I mean, Future Santa, right?
Future Santa.
I don't think he came up with the idea. It was directed by Gibbon something.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was. Yeah, it said it was directed by a person and him, so I'm sure he had a lot of input on what was to be in it.
I think he just had the input on what to wear.
Oh yeah, his clothing choices. I think this should have been Lil Nas X featuring CGI, because the whole music video was just in a green screen.
Yeah, and it was just green screen and him wearing makeup and weird clothes.
They green screened cars. You had the Jeep Gladiator in there.
The PlayStation 5.
The PlayStation 5 was in there. It looked like a JPEG from Google Images just slapped in the CGI. I would guess the music video took less time to make than the writing of this song. Have you found something interesting on this song?
Sorry, it says his lyrics are, man, I snuck into the game, came in on a horse, I pulled a gimmick, I admit it, I got no remorse. And then he said, Nobody tried to let me in. Nobody opened doors. I kicked them blanks down. They didn't have a choice. So what he's saying is, when he wrote the song Old Town Road, he broke into the music industry because he's like, hey, I pulled a gimmick, but I don't care.
He really broke in there by getting a lot of features to make his songs super, super popular. That's crazy. Nobody's ever done that before. Yeah, so this is not a good song.
Musically, no. It's
that's
just
fair to
something
say.
interesting. It's just the same thing. It's like we were talking about in the last one. It's just like SoundCloud rappers are making the same music, just with different words and different tune. You know, it's like you can write the same song and just with different.
Here's my question for you. Who is this written for? Because I would say the majority of Roblox players are probably kids, right?
Yeah.
But this song has language in it, so it's not completely written for children. He's trying to reach an audience of older people. But there's no like bass or anything that would make maybe a teenager or a college student want to play this in their car or something. This is just not... I can't figure out who this is for.
Yeah. Well, and I think it'll get popular. That's the problem. It's not.
Oh, the video already has 25 million views.
And yeah, I think part of his drawing is the fact that it's Lil Nas X. He's done everything weird, so everybody's immediately drawn to him. I mean, think about Kanye. No matter what he would do, it would get millions of views because it was so weird. Like the whole Whoopity Scoop song. Like there was nothing. Like he could, yeah, he did that and it got tons and tons of listens because, and he made money off the song. I'm sure because it was just so weird. People had to.
Yeah. Yes. No, I totally see where you're coming from with that. But basically, that's what we got for Holiday by Lil Nas X. And we're going to move on to our last song of the show. And I think this one is going to strike up some conversations. We might get a little bit political. The song is called Snow on the Bluff by J. Cole. This song was written during the kind of protesting Black Lives Matter movement or whatever. So... we're going to talk about that. So if you get easily offended, just go ahead and turn it off right now. But we're going to talk about our opinions on that.
This video is not getting enough views anyway, so nobody's going to care.
Yeah, but we're gonna take a listen to this song and give our opinions on it. So let's listen to Snow on the Bluff by J. Cole. We're back after listening to Snow on the Bluff by J. Cole. Elijah, take us away. Tell us what you think.
Yeah, I like this because I'm kind of a sucker for songs where the lyrics are very intelligent. I don't I'm kind of a sucker when you don't even understand all of the lyrics. Like, I can go, oh, this part's interesting, but I still don't really get what he's talking about. So I think it's interesting to read lyrics like that. But I understand, so basically the gist of the song, right, is that he sort of feels like that the whole BLM movement is not what it's cracked up to be. Like, he's kind of a skeptic of the movement, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, so basically what he's saying is that there is a problem in America with racism, but that there are people out there that say they're part of the Black Lives Matter movement and they're trying to make a change, but they're not really fully committed to doing anything. And they're actually moving to do things that aren't for Black lives, or they're not doing enough for Black lives. Which is kind of an interesting take on it.
Yeah, he says something interesting. He says, "What's the point of preaching your message to those that already believe what you believe?"
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a very interesting lyric when he's talking about the BLM movement, because it's sort of like he's saying, "Hey, all you people are saying that it's like we know there's a problem and we're trying our best to fight it too. Why are you getting mad at us? You should be fighting the problem rather than." But it's interesting.
I really agree with this song. I think that I'm with Cole on that. There's a problem in America, and I think that Black Lives Matter kind of does almost even more than they should. I think protesting can be good as long as it's peaceful, and I think a lot of what this song was sort of talking about was that it was right as the rioting started to happen, and I don't think J. Cole is really for the rioting. I remember
Yeah.
J. Cole was at the protests, and personally, I'm okay with him being there. I think that's good for him to be at a peaceful protest. But I think he's talking about the rioting, and that's what he says is, um, you know, you're preaching to people that already believe the same things that you believe, and so it's interesting to hear that. You don't necessarily always hear that from people in the public eye right now, at least, like J. Cole is. So that's really interesting to me.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's sort of interesting because he's the difference to me is I feel like a lot of artists, a lot of rappers who are black fall into the same, fall into Black Lives Matter being like, we have to be a part of it. Like, I think it's interesting to see someone who's like, maybe he's sort of skeptical of it. He's not necessarily like for sure with it. I think that's kind of interesting because most of the time it seems like they want, like black artists really feel like they have to be pushing for this specific movement.
Mm-hmm. I want to talk about what the title of the song. So, basically, how this song works is it's just one full verse. The whole thing is a verse. It's not verse, chorus, chorus. And so he just raps for like 3 minutes straight with no breaks in between. It's just all rap. And then it ends on this verse where he says, ran into somebody outside of the store yesterday and he said something that had me like, wait. He was like, Cole, appreciate what you've been doing. That's real. But why, and J. Cole's talking about himself here, he says, why do I feel faker than snow on a bluff? Well, maybe because deep down I know I'm not doing enough. And so what this means is he says, Genius says, while at first he acknowledges that he's deep on the surface, Cole ends the verse by questioning his inner motives, wondering if he really is interpreting the movement to the fullest extent that he can, rather than just acting like he's doing so. And I think, just like you were saying, it's very the pressure of the Black Lives Matters movement is, are you doing enough? Is he doing enough?
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's saying that he's feeling pressured by everybody around him. That some people are saying, I love what you're doing, I love that you're out here protesting, and others are saying, you're not doing enough. There's no in between.
Yeah.
He's either getting praised or he's getting criticized, and so he's kind of torn in between that there. And so, if you're wondering why is Snow on the Bluff fake? Snow on the Bluff was a movie about an Atlanta robber. In 2011, I think the movie came out, about a guy named Curtis Snow, and it was about a guy. It was kind of like the Blair Witch Project, where it's filmed You know how they
Yeah.
film with a camera? He kind of does the same thing where it's kind of a documentary filmed. And people thought it was real. It says here the film was so convincing that the Atlanta PD tried to link its footage to a string of home invasion robberies around the same time the film's released. And it says, however, Snow was later arrested in May 2016 on charges for aggravated assault. And so it says Cole plays off the film's realistic filming style, which seemed like documentary footage to many on the surface, but ended up being fictional after deeper investigation. So that wasn't real, but it looked on the surface like it was, which is like what J. Cole's saying. He himself feels that on the surface he looks real and he looks like he's doing it, but maybe he's not really having the same motives that he should. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that's interesting. The movie sounds kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But it's also probably really dark and depressing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's... Yeah, and the nice thing is, I want to say, from a music standpoint, I'm really impressed when you go on Genius. Like, most of the words in this lyrics are highlighted with having deeper meaning. Like,
yes.
You can click on them and go, what does this mean? I think that's impressive because you don't see that often in pop music. And there's a lot of words in this song, too. It's just impressive to me that he put so much into this song. I also think it's interesting the way he kind of composed the song musically. It's not just another rap song. It's not just drums and then whatever. It's more reflective and it seems more well thought out. The last part, like right before the chorus or the outro at the end, it's just kind of weird and sort of introspective, and then it goes to the outro, and it's kind of interesting. I just think this song is really impressive the way it's made.
Yeah.
And lyric-wise, it's impressive because it's different.
I like this song. I mean, it's not really a song you're gonna listen to and get hype for. It's very kind of slow. For a rap song, it's slow, but
yeah,
I think it has a really good message. I like what he's talking about. At least what Genius says is what he's talking about. I don't know. Maybe he's talking about something completely different. We don't know.
It's true.
But I like this song. I like where he's going with. I like that he's giving his opinion out there. I don't see a whole lot of hate of him for having these opinions either. I mean, a lot of people don't hate J. Cole anyways. It's kind of hard to hate the guy. But yeah, it's an interesting song. So I think that's... Oh, you got something else you wanted to say?
Well, you said it's hard to hate the guy. It seems like he's relatively quiet. Like, he doesn't do a lot of stuff, which I think is a good play on his part. Because, I mean, I also think it's interesting. He doesn't seem like he's not on the top, like, charts continually. Like, he's sort of up there occasionally, but he's not up there like, Lil Nas X. It's sort of, and I think that's because his lyrics have deeper meaning. I think that's a big problem with music now, is because we just want music that we can sort of just move our head to, It's not like, we don't want something with a deeper meaning. And I think that's interesting because back in the ages of like rock music, it would still have a deeper meaning, but it would also be like, nod your head to it, I think like they would always try to make their songs political. Or like most of the time. Sometimes they had some really dumb ones, but
yeah.
Like
I mean, he's just bringing back the style of making your songs mean something.
Yeah.
Because songs nowadays just don't mean anything.
Yeah.
they either are exactly what they present to the table is what they mean, or they just mean nothing at all, and they're just to get your head moving and to listen in the car, and
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting. I like a lot of what Cole does. I think a lot of his songs are have a double meaning. Don't mean exactly what they portray on the outside.
Speaking of lyrics that have meaning. Sorry. No, but seriously, I really like my own music, and I'm proud of it. But I seriously believe that, like, you should write what you mean, and there's I try to put a lot of work into the lyrics that I write and make them have deeper meaning than just surface level stuff.
Yeah.
And even like just a love song, whatever, it can still have deeper meaning too, I think.
Yeah, and I think pop songs used to have two meanings too as well, and we've just kind of lost that. And I think it's a lot of your music and a lot of the lyrics you write does mean something than maybe what you would listen to, and if you really think about it, you can understand something. And that's what's cool about music, is you can write different stuff. I mean, it's like poetry where you can
well, and like
say things.
Even I want to say even Miley Cyrus is doing a good job at that. Like with the song, at least Midnight, whatever it was,
Midnight Sky. Yeah.
Midnight Sky. I want to say I was impressed because it had deeper meaning. It wasn't just a song where like she was talking about something real, and she wasn't just saying whatever,
I mean, it was pretty face value though what she was saying. It wasn't completely.
But what I like is that she was talking about something, like a real feeling that she has. And it's not just something that she was just sort of like talking about. She had a real experience that she felt like she needed to share that she needed to express through music.
Yeah.
Which is what it's all about. And I think that gets lost in a lot of pop music because it's not expressing feeling or words or emotion or whatever. It's more just expressing. It's more just a way of getting famous now.
Yeah, no, that's fair to say about the genre today.
So in conclusion, please listen. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna beg you, but also you should listen to our music because I really am proud of it and I put a lot of work into it, and it's good stuff. It's got good lyrics.
Yeah, so we'll have a thing in the end that shouts out to your music, so that people can go listen to that on YouTube and know exactly where that's at. But I'm just going to wrap this up because we just had 3 songs we were going to talk about. We talked for a while about each of these songs and got to really go in depth with them. So just a reminder of the 3 songs we did. We had Midnight Sky by Miley Cyrus. We had Holiday by Lil Nas X. And then we had Snow on the Bluff by J. Cole. And that's basically what today's show is going to be about. So we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you. Thanks again for listening to Unsure on Air. Be sure to check out Unsure on your streaming service. Check out our newest album, Romance and Other Things We're Unsure About. There's also an official lyric video for On the Money on YouTube. For updates, follow unsure.music on Instagram, and be sure to check in on our YouTube channel for future episodes of Unsure on Air and other new things. Thanks for listening, and be sure to tune in 2 weeks to Unsure on Air.